Welcome to Mind Odyssey, where timeless wisdom meets modern psychology. Here we embark on journeys through history's greatest minds, uncovering insights to help you overcome daily struggles and discover deeper fulfillment. If you enjoy exploring these philosophical tales and want to grow along with us, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support fuels the Odyssey and brings more stories to light. Today's journey is Aristotle's Guide to a Fulfilled Life. We'll explore how Aristotle saw happiness not as fleeting pleasure, but as a deeper sense of flourishing, what he called eudaimonia. In a world obsessed with chasing quick highs, Aristotle offers timeless guidance for finding meaning and purpose. Let's walk together through his world and see what lessons we can bring into our own lives. Chapter 1. The Philosopher's Lantern. Picture ancient Greece at dusk, marble columns casting long shadows, a gentle breeze stirring olive trees, and Aristotle, lost in thought, moving slowly beneath the colonnades. His mind is not on transient joys, but on the question, what is the ultimate purpose of a human life? Tonight his lantern glows with the beginnings of an answer. Aristotle believed true fulfillment was not found in pleasure alone, but in the steady cultivation of character and wisdom. He watched his fellow Athenians pursue momentary delight, yet wondered why so few felt truly at peace. To him, happiness was not a destination, but a quality of being that grows over time, rooted in virtues and right action. He called this flourishing eudaimonia. As the city quiets and stars appear above, Aristotle invites us to join in his search. What does it mean to live well? How do we find joy that endures beyond mood and circumstance? This chapter sets our path, a gradual unfolding of wisdom where happiness is something to be nurtured, like a lantern's flame, illuminating not just our days, but the very core of who we are. Chapter 2, Eudaimonia, the Art of Flourishing. Aristotle envisioned happiness not as a fleeting feeling, but as a result of living with virtue and intention. He called this state eudaimonia deep, abiding sense of fulfillment that roots itself in living rightly. Tonight we unravel what it truly means to flourish, inviting you to reflect on your own journey toward a meaningful life, beyond surface comforts and distractions. Eudaimonia is not about chasing pleasure or enjoying endless delights. Aristotle saw it as the art of living in accordance with virtue. This chapter beckons us to pause and consider. What does it mean to thrive rather than simply survive? Take a breath and let his wisdom settle in, urging you to look past society's quick fixes and toward the deeper joy found in personal growth and purpose. In Aristotle's world, a flourishing life was cultivated by nurturing habits of excellence virtues like courage, generosity, and self-control. These were not just lofty ideals, but practical tools for daily living. As you listen, imagine how embracing these qualities might shape your choices and relationships. With every act of virtue, Aristotle believed, we carve out our truest selves and come closer to fulfillment. Modern culture often equates happiness with pleasure-quick wins, comfort, and fleeting highs. But Aristotle challenges us to go deeper. True flourishing, he argues, is a steady harmony between our values, our actions, and our sense of meaning. In tonight's calm, let the contrast settle in. Reflect on whether the pursuit of comfort leaves you feeling whole, or still searching for something more lasting. As we journey through Aristotle's vision, consider your own definition of a good life. Perhaps flourishing is less about accumulation and more about cultivation of character, purpose, and connection. Allow yourself a quiet moment to ponder where your path diverges from today's chase for pleasure. Embrace the art of eudaimonia, a life built not on moments of happiness, but on the enduring foundation of virtue and meaning. Chapter 3. The Missteps of Modern Happiness. In today's world, many self-help guides suggest that happiness is found by boosting pleasure and sidestepping pain. But when we examine these approaches more closely, we start to notice cracks beneath the surface. Can life really be reduced to just feeling good and avoiding discomfort? Or is something essential lost when meaning takes a back seat to momentary satisfaction? Let us reflect on what these ideas truly offer. We often hear that maximizing pleasure should be our goal. Social feeds, best-selling books, even workplace seminars echo this advice. This mindset insists that lasting joy comes from seeking comfort and eliminating struggles. However, by constantly chasing happiness, we may be missing the deeper questions. What kind of happiness are we really after, and does it align with who we wish to become? These questions open doors to richer understanding. Rather than offering a genuine path to fulfillment, the modern focus on pleasure sometimes leads to frustration. When our days are measured only by what feels good, setbacks loom larger and discomfort becomes intolerable. In our push to avoid negative emotions, we often lose touch with the value of resilience, challenge, and personal growth. Aristotle understood that flourishing comes not from avoidance, but by facing life's trials with courage and intention. Aristotle described happiness, or eudaimonia, as much more than comfort or mood. He believed the richest joys emerge from pursuing meaning, purpose, and excellence, not simply from seeking pleasant experiences. Modern views can seem shallow in comparison, promising quick fixes yet overlooking the deeper fulfillment that comes from living a life of virtue and intention. Finding meaning, rather than just mood, elevates us beyond temporary highs. In questioning the limits of modern self-help, we see that the pursuit of pleasure alone leaves us unfulfilled. Aristotle's wisdom reminds us that true happiness stems from striving towards our highest potential, embracing effort, and nurturing our character. By confronting discomfort and seeking purpose, we pave the way to flourishing that endures beyond fleeting pleasure. Through ancient insight, we can find guidance for a more meaningful modern life. Chapter 4. The Shifting Sands of Mood. Picture a day when a gentle breeze can lift your spirit, or a sudden rain cloud dampens your joy. In this chapter, we wander through small, stories-brief glimpses into the lives of people quietly shaped by forces seen and unseen. Watch as mood ebbs and flows, prompted by everyday moments. Through their experiences, a deeper question forms. Can happiness be steady when moods are so easily changed? A young artist stands before her canvas on a bright morning. Her heart soars, colors seem vivid, inspiration flows, but as afternoon shadows stretch across her studio, doubts creep in. Suddenly, her earlier joy feels fragile, swept away by worry. With each change in light, her emotions flicker. This vignette reveals the fleeting nature of happiness when it rises and falls with our shifting moods. Next, imagine an old friend waiting in a cozy cafe, hoping to reconnect with someone dear. The anticipation brings warmth and hope, but when the friend is late, anxiety slips in, stirring discomfort. A lively chatter in the cafe fades to an echo. Here, external circumstances leave the heart at the mercy of every passing moment. Calm gives way to restlessness, and the mood's shifting tides are impossible to ignore. Aristotle observed that happiness built upon feelings alone is as unstable as shifting sands. Moods sway with fortune happiness today, sorrow tomorrow. These stories unfold the limits of pleasure chasing. We see that a life tethered to mood can never find true grounding. Aristotle's insight suggests the steadier anchor is needed rooted deeper than fleeting emotion, offering stability where mere feeling cannot. To contrast, Aristotle spoke of virtue of making choices in line with our deepest values. Unlike happiness reliant on mood or luck, the pursuit of virtue offers a solid foundation. When we act with kindness or courage, our sense of fulfillment transcends passing feelings. The narrative vignettes remind us, while moods dance and shift, a commitment to virtue can offer an enduring compass, guiding us through life's changing weather. Chapter 5, The Virtues We Build. Aristotle believed that true happiness, or eudaimonia, wasn't something stumbled upon by chance. It was the result of daily practice and intentional cultivation of core virtues. Here we dive deeply into how courage, temperance, and wisdom serve as the enduring pillars of a fulfilled life. Their significance echoes from the bustling streets of ancient Athens to the complexities of ancient Athens to the complexities of our own modern existence. Virtue is not inherited, it is built, moment by moment, decision by decision. Aristotle teaches us that flourishing does not come from fleeting pleasure, but from nurturing character every day. Consider the ancient athlete, rising before dawn to train not only the body but also the spirit. The relentless effort builds more than muscle. It crafts a steady heart, a clear mind, and an unwavering will. Let's first explore courage. In Aristotle's time, courage meant more than battlefield bravery. It was the gentle resolve to do what is right. Even in quiet moments of fear, modern stories of courage abound. Whether it's the single parent facing an uncertain future or the student choosing honesty when dishonesty is easier, each act, however small, shapes a virtuous soul. Next stands temperance. To Aristotle, temperance was not just about restraint, but about harmony, finding balance amidst life's countless temptations. Picture the festival in ancient Greece where joy and indulgence threatened to tip into excess, or our modern world flooded with distractions. True temperance is practicing celebration without losing self-control, savoring pleasure while never becoming captive to it. Lastly, wisdom serves as the guiding light for both courage and temperance. Aristotle saw wisdom as more than knowledge. It was the thoughtful reflection that transforms mistakes into lessons, desires into purpose, and choices into destiny. Whether in the philosopher debating under olive trees or an ordinary person reflecting after a difficult day, wisdom is what unites our actions with our highest ideals and leads us towards flourishing. Chapter 6, Flourishing Amid Adversity. Picture a sculptor shaping marble. Each strike of the chisel reveals new possibilities, even as the stone resists. In this chapter, we explore how true fulfillment does not mean an absence of suffering, but rather a deliberate engagement with hardship. Through the stories of ancient philosophers and modern survivors alike, we witness how adversity becomes the crucible in which character and meaning are forged. Aristotle believed that facing adversity is not a detour on the road to happiness. It is the very path itself. Meet the philosopher Epictetus, born into slavery, who transformed misfortune into wisdom. Hear also about Helen Keller, blinded and deaf in childhood, who learned to shape her world through patience and resolve. Their lives show us the depth of flourishing that only resilience can unlock. Through the centuries, countless people have transformed pain into purpose. Consider Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Holocaust who found meaning in suffering. He taught that even when faced with hopelessness, we are free to choose our response. His story, like so many others, echoes Aristotle's insight: adversity refines the human spirit, drawing forth strengths and virtues that would otherwise remain hidden. Flourishing, as Aristotle described, is less about momentary happiness and more about the steady cultivation of resilience. Imagine the single parent working tirelessly, the immigrant starting anew, the artist enduring countless rejections. Their stories remind us that setbacks invite growth, and that peace can be found amid struggle. In adversity's crucible, virtues such as courage and perseverance are slowly kindled into lasting fulfillment. As we reflect on these stories, let us reconsider our own challenges. Rather than wishing hardships away, we might see them as teachers unwelcome but wise. Each trial becomes an opportunity to nurture traits like patience, empathy, and strength. Following Aristotle's guide, we understand that to flourish is not to escape adversity, but to rise and blossom boldly within it. Chapter 7, Harmony Within and Without. Aristotle envisioned true flourishing as a gentle balance between cultivating one's inner life and serving the community. In this chapter, we wander through stories where personal joys are not separate from shared purpose. Imagine a craftsman perfecting his skill, not only for pride, but also to better his city. Each act of self-fulfillment becomes meaningful, woven quietly into the fabric of society. Some lives burn bright in public service, while others glow gently through small, unseen acts of virtue. Aristotle's vision reminds us that even modest kindness can ripple through the lives around us. As we listen, consider the neighbor who volunteers quietly, or the friend who uplifts others in private moments. In these stories, harmony is not grand or loud, but gently persistent, shaping communities from within. Balancing individual freedom and social responsibility is no simple task. Aristotle did not call us to sacrifice who we are, but to recognize our personal growth as incomplete without contribution. Picture a painter lost in creation, then sharing her work to inspire others. Flourishing is found at the crossroads of self-expression and empathy. Each life, unique as a note, joins a greater composition, resonating beyond the self. Inside these stories, we find courage not always dramatic, but steadfast and kind. Civic engagement appears in daily choices, standing up for justice, aiding neighbors, or speaking thoughtfully in difficult conversations. Virtue is not thunderous, but clear and calm, in everyday moments where conscience guides action. Aristotle's flourishing asks us to shape a world where our fulfillment uplifts the many, not just the few. Ultimately, flourishing in Aristotle's sense means we nurture ourselves while sowing seeds for others in ever-renewing exchange between the inner and outer worlds. Harmony is sustained not by perfection, but by the gentle return to balance again and again. As you drift toward reflection or rest, let these stories remind you, a fulfilled life quietly pulses between giving and receiving, belonging and being truly oneself. Chapter 8, Meaning Beyond the Moment. As the pursuit of fleeting pleasure fades into the background, we turn our gaze to something more enduring. What does it mean to live a life that matters after the thrill of the moment is gone? In this chapter, we reflect on the longing for a legacy, a yearning to leave behind echoes that touch the lives of those who follow, anchoring us to purpose. Instead of chasing short bursts of happiness, we consider eudaimonia, Aristotle's vision of flourishing that lasts beyond a single experience. The narrator ponders how real meaning is crafted not in the intensity of feelings that pass, but in actions and values that leave their imprint. Through reflection, we explore how the search for deeper fulfillment can guide choices that shape the world long after we are gone. Stories of artists, thinkers, and everyday people illustrate the enduring power of eudaimonia. Their lives were not defined by constant joy, but by a steady commitment to what mattered most. Each choice rooted in virtue became a ripple, quietly spreading through families, communities, and even generations. These narratives show that true legacy comes not from chasing mood, but from nurturing meaning that flows forward. We imagine a craftsman who pours care into his work, or a teacher whose lessons gently guide students for decades. Their fulfillment springs not from applause or recognition in the moment, but from knowing their values will outlast them. These ripples grow, affecting people they may never meet. In attending to meaning beyond the moment, lives become sources of hope and direction for those yet to come. As we close this chapter, we are left to ask ourselves, what ripples are we sending out into the world? If mood ebbs and flows, perhaps the truest fulfillment lies in the stories we set in motion and the good we quietly nurture. In seeking meaning that endures, we move beyond the pursuit of highs, toward cultivating a legacy that gives life depth, even after the moment has faded away. Chapter 9, The Odyssey of Fulfillment. As we arrive at the end of our journey, a gentle invitation lingers in the air. Imagine your own life as an odyssey, a voyage that loops ever onward. Aristotle's wisdom was not meant for the shelves of history, but for the shores of our daily experience. The call is not to chase perfection, but to discover meaning in each mindful moment. Every step becomes the story itself. In quiet reflection, ask yourself, what does fulfillment truly mean? Beyond fleeting pleasure or achievement, Aristotle taught us that flourishing is deeply personal, weaving virtue with passion, habit with hope. The Odyssey lies not somewhere distant, but in the everyday, waking with intention, listening with care, returning kindness for hurt. Fulfillment waits in the subtle art of being present, aware, and aligned with your highest purpose. Picture your journey through life as a winding road with gentle turns and golden sunlight slipping through. Each mindful choice becomes a compass, guiding you closer to the fulfillment that only meaning can bring. Practice pausing, noticing beauty, reflecting on gratitude, and nurturing curiosity. Aristotle's guidance whispers in those small, deliberate actions, shaping your days and drawing you closer to flourishing, one simple decision at a time. Embracing this odyssey, remember that each setback is not defeat, but an invitation. Challenges are the moments when virtues are forged, patience in hardship, courage in uncertainty, wisdom in rest. Mindful practice transforms obstacles into stepping stones, teaching us to trust the process rather than rush the outcome. Fulfillment grows in the soil of resilience, watered by daily effort and enriched by reflection upon each experience. As our journey closes, may you carry this wisdom like a lantern through your days. Embark upon your own odyssey with gentleness, curiosity, and a readiness to grow. The path to true fulfillment is walked one mindful step at a time, woven from Aristotle's teachings and your own unfolding story. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and continue onward. Your flourishing awaits in the living of every moment.